The old saying goes, familiarity breeds contempt. And for the third time this year, St. Mary's takes on St. Anthony's. And for the third consecutive year, the Gales and Friars go head-to-head in the Nassau-Suffolk Catholic High School Athletic Association Championship. It's St. Mary's and St. Anthony's next. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to St. Joseph's College in Patchogue, Long Island for tonight's Long Island Catholic League Championship. It's St. Mary's and St. Anthony's. Matt Shortis with you, and we're so glad you could join us. Well, these two teams, as we mentioned in the tease, they met twice during the regular season. The first time, St. Anthony's used a 35-foot bank shot to win it at the buzzer. The second time, St. Anthony's won handedly, but that is because St. Mary's was undermanned. 4 of their players, 3 starters, did not play in that game. So you know they have one thing on their mind tonight. Both teams are very balanced. They bring a lot of firepower. We'll start with St. Mary's, and they are led by Khadijah Bailey, the junior, who is one of those starters that did not play in the St. Anthony's second meeting All-League last year as a sophomore. She's already scored over 1,500 points in her high school career, and she committed to St. John's as a freshman. And for St. Anthony's, Maya Moffett, the senior, who was the lone returning starter from last year's championship team, she's committed to Rhode Island. Toughest kid on the team, says her head coach, Hugh Flaherty. Tremendous court sense, and she's in the running for the Conference Player of the Year. Don't let it happen. Tonight, it is a season ending. It's St. Mary's and St. Anthony's next on News 12 Varsity.
Who will rise higher, dunk harder, and go farther? The playoffs are here. Tune to News 12 Varsity all postseason long.
Welcome back to St. Joseph's College. Matt Shortis, along with Dylan Butler and Tom Schnorr, as we get ready for the Nassau-Suffolk Catholic Championship game. St. Mary's at 19-5 on the season, coached by Kevin White, a Holy Cross graduate in his second season as head coach. His starting lineup will be Alana Bradford, Victoria Sacramone, Lily Rakitsis, Deja Martin, and Khadijah Bailey. St. Anthony's Friars, coached by Hugh Flaherty, in his first season as head coach at St. Anthony's, taking over for Kenny Parham, now at New York Tech. They show up with an 18-6 record on the season, and the starting lineup for the Friars will be Kayla Robinson, Tamia Longhorn, Maya Moffett, Lauren Hackett, and Jasmine White. These two teams met twice during the regular season, once on January the 6th. St. Anthony's won that one 67-65. The second time on February the 3rd, and St. Anthony's walking through with that one pretty easily, 54-37. So a little delayed start time on account of the A championship going into overtime. Congratulations go out to Kellenberg, knocking off St. John the Baptist. It's St. Mary's in the blue and St. Anthony's in the white, and we are underway. Khadijah Bailey runs the show for St. Mary's into the left corner. It comes for Rakitsis. Near side for Sacramone. Back up top for Bailey. Bailey on the left side, long three, banked in by Alana Bradford.
Well, we are late, but apparently the bank is still open. St. Mary's jumps ahead.
Well, you know, if that's your first shot of the game and that falls, got to feel like it's going to be a good night for you.
Yeah.
Lauren Hackett, first possession of the game for St. Anthony, stripped by Bailey. Bailey then lost it, recovered by Robinson to the basket, too strong. And it's pulled down by Victoria Sacramone. Both these teams have a fair amount of youth in key positions up and down the lineup, sprinkled in with some experienced players. Bailey lobs it inside, wide open on the blocks is Rakitsis. Left side it comes for Tamia Longhorn. The shot from Jasmine White is off the block. White, a 6'3" senior, projects as a 3 or 4 in college, can step outside. Here's another long shot. And St. Anthony's cold to start the game.
Yeah, they were sitting around the bleachers watching the end of that AA game and kind of got out of their, I'm sure, their usual routine. Now a little bit of a zone we're seeing here, 1-2-2.
Here's how long that game was. I got in the building at around 6:30. They were just starting the second half. Steal from Hackett, who takes it to the basket. And the game ended at about 8 o'clock.
Yeah. But we're on time if this was Central Time.
Yes.
We're doing good.
3-point game to start, early going. Near side it comes for Sydney Taylor. They swing it around the perimeter. Deja Martin now, it's Lily Rakitsis. And did not play in that last contest against St. Anthony's. Here's the three from right side, off the heel. Hard-fought rebound taken by Bailey. Bailey back up with it and in.
Yeah, she is so smooth. And it's scary to think how young she still is.
Only a junior, second year starting for St. Mary's after playing at Long Beach her freshman year. Down low into the paint, it comes for White, stripped to the ball, losing it out of bounds to St. Mary's. Early timeout taken by Hugh Flaherty, with his team down 5 early on.
That's a good look at Kevin White, and tell you what, he coached on the AAU level for several years and took the opportunity to come to St. Mary's. He was an assistant a couple years ago at the Mary Lewis Academy as well. His daughter, Kerry, coaches at St. Francis Prep. Kerry beat Kevin this year in a game, so.
Look at you bringing the bio.
A little, I've known Kevin for years. That's probably a little bittersweet for him. You know, he's a competitor, so of course he wants to win every game, but his daughter coaching at St. Francis Prep.
And she played at Queens College.
She did.
While Hugh Flaherty was the head coach at Malloy.
Yeah.
So they played against each other. Hard screen, Bradford getting around it. Kick out left side, 3 too strong. Pulled down by Maya Moffitt. Up ahead for Kayla Robinson. Robinson draws the contact and gets the hoop as well.
In this game a year ago, Maya Moffitt was such a threat. She really, it was an off game for the Friars that game, but she picked her team up and led her to that victory. Free throw off the front rim.
Offensive board by St. Anthony's, that won't go either. Long pass ahead, Rakitsis. Now Sacramone, left side, 3 for Bailey, straight down.
I tell you, I'm sure Flaherty has told this team you've got to identify where number 30 is at all times.
Averaging just under 20 points per contest. One of the more prolific scorers on Long Island. Left side, long 2 is good for Lawhorn.
Yeah, starting to get this game into a bit of a rhythm now.
Here's the sophomore, Alana Bradford, just shy of the timeline, handing it off for Kadeja Bailey. Bailey kicking it back out. Sacramone will try a 3, no good. Tipped up, taken by Bailey. Bailey tries to hook it around, out of bounds. And Rakitsis, her effort goes for naught. (10-6) early going, midway through the first.
By the way, Kevin White's other daughter, his older daughter, Erin, also played at Queens College. Anything else you want to know with the White family? I've got you.
Shot too strong. How about this? Moffitt ripping away this ball and putting it in.
Yeah, that's a perfect description of it because that's exactly what she did. She just ripped that ball, which could have been a jump ball. She got the basket and the foul. Again, another 3-point opportunity for Moffitt. This time she connects, and we've got a 1-point game.
10-9, St. Mary's leading, so Moffitt and Bailey are making their presence felt early on.
Yeah, kind of as we expected as well. The two-star players.
Right side, that'll be a three, way strong. Boarded by St. Mary's. And we'll have a whistle, and Martin might have got away with a travel. And instead, Tamia Lawhorn is guilty of a foul. Tamia and her twin sister Taylor both transferring in from Amityville. Tamia, first-year starter. Taylor will come off the bench. Deja Martin, senior, who's committed to play at St. Peter's College in the MAC. Missing a pair. Here's Lauren Hackett over the timeline.
Yeah, very impressive player. She's got a bright, bright future.
She's got some good speed on her as well. Lawhorn, left side Moffitt, back up top it comes for Lawhorn. Aims up the three, no good. Moffitt winning the board after Robinson tried to save it. Here's Moffitt bursting in, draws the defense, slides over to the right side, no good. Moffitt, offensive rebound, back up with it, short off the front iron, and Lawhorn's got it.
Yeah, Bailey just missed that putback, a little gimme inside.
Driving on the baseline is Robinson, and she is fouled. Sacramone, the guilty party. Nasha Fenelon getting ready to check in. And Kayla Robinson to the line. Head coach Hugh Flaherty says she's probably been the most improved player over the course of the season. She's put it all together, and primarily her shooting is where he's seen the most improvement. St. Anthony's on a 7-0 run as they take a 1-point lead at 11-10. 2:38 to go in the first.
And think about it too, that came after that 30-second timeout by Flaherty.
Fenelon double dribbled. Well, she was showing some flash on the handle. Took one too many.
Now some pressure by St. Mary's.
Robinson a little tangled up. Finding Hackett. Hackett bursting past midcourt. Hackett underneath, scoop shot high off the window and in.
I mean, talk about a press breaker. Hackett beautifully slicing through that pressure and putting it high off the window.
Now a 9-0 run for St. Anthony's. Bailey has the 6'3" White on her out on the perimeter. Skip pass into the corner for Rakitsis, out of bounds. Well, after Hugh Flaherty called the timeout, Kevin White taking a different tact and letting his team play this one out. White down the baseline, no good. Shot is waved off as the foul occurred on the floor.
Hey, you gotta love when you're big and put the ball on the floor with confidence, huh? You mentioned it earlier about her projection and being a three. As a three, you do need to do that.
Right side in the corner comes from Maya Moffitt. And only returning starter from last year's team. How about Hackett again? Hackett underneath. Too much and turns it over.
Hey, she got a little involved in the N1 mixtape tour type stuff and trying to break some ankles.
Now Bailey trying to put it back in. Bailey no good. Rebounded by Lee. Shoveled ahead into the hands of Hackett. Hackett left side. It's good. 6 first quarter points for Lauren Hackett. And now Kevin White will take a timeout.
Yeah, Hackett even drew some contact on that. No foul call, though. 4 straight for her. 15-10 to lead, 1:15 to go, first quarter.
10 unanswered points for St. Anthony's. And Hugh Flaherty in the middle of that huddle, first year as the head coach of St. Anthony's, taking over for Kenny Parham. Not only did he take over for Kenny Parham, there were 2 other coaches that were supposed to kind of take over the coaching duties. A couple games into the season, he gets a call from the AD and says, hey, we have a coaching vacancy. We'd like you to coach. They offered him the job on the spot.
There you go. No need for a second interview.
He didn't even apply for it.
Yeah.
They just called him.
That means your resume is pretty good.
Foul on Kayla Robinson. And then, so, first game, he shows up. He just takes a seat on the bench. He says, I want to see what you guys are doing. Lets him play. And he brought some notes to next practice. Said, here's what I think we could do. They've been very open to that. Return to sender on the blocks. Here's Hackett again, showing that speed. Flicks it up underneath for Lawhorn. St. Anthony's is as confident as ever right now. Here's Bailey to the basket. Count it. No. No continuation. Our officials today, Jim Bork, Aloysius Johnson, Kaz DeLillo. Kaz is very strict on his continuation interpretation, that's for sure. He's been fair both ways, though. Fenelon splitting the defense and puts it in. That ends the 13-0 run for St. Anthony's. Maya Moffitt right down the middle of the lane. Shot clock is off, final 20 seconds of the first quarter. Bailey slowing it down. Screen upcoming from Lee. Left corner it comes for Kitsis. And then St. Mary's never got a shot off.
Well, it's a slow start for the Friars and a hot middle and the end of the first quarter. 19-12 Friars.
On March 12th, starting at 11 a.m., watch the best of Long Island high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions. Live on Channel 14. This doubleheader begins at 11 a.m. with the Class A Finals, followed by the Class AA Finals at 1:30 p.m. Watch the best of Long Island high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Back at St. Joseph's College, Matt Shortest and the Butler. As we begin the second quarter, St. Anthony's leading 19-12 over St. Mary's. Here's Hackett, he'll step into a 3 off the window and in. 9 points in the ball game for Lauren Hackett. And the lead is 10. Offensive board underneath for Brianna Lee. She'll go to the free throw line. First free throw, no good. Brianna Lee, a 6'2" sophomore, netting the second one. We're 22-13, and St. Anthony's, their first quarter, looking very similar to the path they used to success in the first meeting with spreading the ball around. They had 5 players in double figures in that contest. Knocked away by Fenelon, intercepted by Bradford, caromed into the hands of Fenelon. Out it comes for Bailey, too strong on the 3. A rebound hauled in by Lee. Back out it comes for Bailey on the left side. Kadeja Bailey had 5 points in the first 10 for St. Mary's, but quiet since. She'll pull it down again, almost got the bank shot to rim in, but it swirled out. Hackett winging to the right side for Moffitt down on the baseline. Jasmine White with it. Back comes for Hackett. A spark plug in the starting lineup. Left side for Asia Smith. First touch of the game. She falls down and misses the shot. Okadeja Bailey running the floor. Bailey, hanger in the lane. Runner won't go. Gets it back up and in.
You see how quickly she had that putback.
That one had a little top spin on it, allowed it to get over the rim. High pass nearly went out of bounds. Moffitt recovered, skips it up underneath. Good pass inside by Hackett, finding Lawhorn down low.
Yeah, those great vision that Hackett has.
2 minutes gone by in the second. 9-point advantage for St. Anthony's over St. Mary's in the Catholic League Championship game. Knocked away into the hands of Lawhorn. Tamia Lawhorn stripped from behind, but she traveled first. Either way, St. Mary's came up with the ball. Pair of threes entering the game. Victoria Sacramento for St. Mary's and Kayla Robinson for the Friars. Sacramento, one of St. Mary's captains, getting some local Division II and III interest to play collegiate basketball. Chest pass to Bradford. Sacramento throws a little head fake, backs it out. That pass nearly stolen again. Ball comes over towards us. And it will stay with St. Mary's. Rakitsis will throw it in. There's Bailey again, driving right side of the lane. No good on that shot. Jasmine White is there for the rebound. Boy, Hackett's got one speed, and it's fast. Right side, Lawhorn, nice touch. 8 points in the first half for Tamia Lawhorn.
Yeah, she plays fast, but she plays under control. There's that distinction. You see a lot of players kind of play fast, but they're out of control. They're reckless, not her.
There's Sacramento on the baseline, tried to get it away, knocked away. Around the horn it comes. Rakitsis will load up for three, no good. St. Anthony's has it going the other way. Maya Moffitt dribbling the ball. Moffitt, back it comes for her. College range three, too strong. Rebound caromed into Bradford's waiting arms. Sydney Taylor getting ready to check in for St. Anthony's. About the midway point of the second quarter, 9-point Friar lead. Sacramonte's got Hackett all over her. Right side. And they're gonna call a foul.
Yeah, a little
on
bump.
Jasmine White.
A little bump on the attempted post up by Brianna Lee. Both players will go to the bench as both teams go a bit smaller right now.
Yeah, Sydney Taylor, the tallest player on the floor for St. Anthony's. Maya Moffitt, though, playing big. Moffitt, the steal. Moffitt, the dish underneath to Taylor, short. Taylor gets her own rebound, falls off the iron. And out of bounds. Last touch by Lily Rakitsis of St. Mary's. Inbound to Hackett. She'll try a three, drains it. Lauren Hackett with 12 points in the first half. And St. Anthony's has a 14-point lead. All right, Lauren Hackett above her season average already, and Hugh Flaherty says she can hit from 25 feet out.
Yeah.
And showing the range in this first half.
Yeah, going back to your story about Hugh and the way that he started up this team, you love that he had that mentality, right? Of watching them play, taking some notes and just figuring it from there, instead of coming in and saying, listen, I coach this way, I do that. You know, he wasn't a drill instructor in that sense. And That's just so smart on his part to look to see what the team's strengths are.
Also, the appreciation for what his players had been through. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine 5 or 6 games in the season. You've already been through 2 head coaches, and you lost your head coach that was there for a long time in Kenny Parham.
And all you're used to, especially under Kenny, was a high level of success.
Sent underneath, one dribble for Martin, up and under, but a foul on the loose ball by St. Anthony's.
That was a great Division I post-up move by Martin. The only 2 outcomes there would have been a foul or a basket.
Martin, one of the 4 players that missed the second St. Anthony's game. There's Bailey, Martin, Ricketts, and Lily Rakitsis. And Martin finally connects on a free throw after missing her first 3. St. Mary's putting on some pressure, taken by Fenolan, and a travel. Kayla Robinson over the timeline. Robinson trying to get around the point guard, Bradford. Right side of the lane, kept alive. Moffitt will try a long 2, and that is good. Maya Moffitt with 7, and seemingly St. Anthony's cannot miss in the first half here.
Yeah, we don't keep the shooting percentage, but it is very high after a slow start.
Fenelon, the scoop shot, no good. St. Mary's getting some second chance, unable to can the shots. Moffitt pushing ahead to Robinson. Robinson is fouled. And she will go to the line. Victoria Sacramone picking up her second personal foul.
So perhaps Robinson is going to go back to Moffitt. Instead, she took that contact, and she'll go to the line after she gets a breath.
First free throw is good for Robinson. Good defender, has the ability to finish with either hand. So St. Anthony's has doubled up St. Mary's, but not for long. .220 to go, 32-18 in this first half. St. Anthony's kicking back out. Taylor Lawhorn will try a 3. That misses the mark. And Kadesha Bailey's got the ball in her hands. 9 first half points for St. Mary's to lead the way for the Gales.
You can kind of see what Kevin White is trying to do here defensively.
There's
As
Bailey for 3, missing the mark. Long rebound. A lot of contact. St. Mary's has it. Free throw line. Jumper good for Sacramone.
Looks like he's really trying to keep the ball out of Hackett's hands. There she was able to get it off the make, but they've got Fenelon on her doing a good job.
Push shot. Falls for Robinson. Well, that's the problem with St. Anthony's. You could try and shut down Hackett, but they've got other players to fill in those gaps. Spread the wealth. Robinson's got 7, Lawhorn 8, Moffitt 7, and Hackett the 12. Sacramone for 3, it's good. Back-to-back baskets for Victoria Sacramone. Deficit back to 11. Taylor Lawhorn, long 2, well that won't fall. Anastasia Martin's got it.
Good opportunity here for St. Mary's. Cut their deficit to single digits.
Could go 2 for 1. No good. Battle for the rebound. Hackett's got it. And a travel. We'll give the ball back to St. Mary's.
So I think considering the deficit just a few moments ago, I think if you're Kevin White, if you can get into halftime back into the laboratory within single digits, you will certainly take that.
After being down 16, as you said a moment ago. There's Bradford. Robinson hounding her. Sacramone on a mismatch.
Yeah, she wants it.
Calling for it back. Sacramone steps back for three. Nearly had it off the bank. Hackett pulling up at a 5-second difference between the shot and the game clock. Hackett blocked from behind, but a foul against Alana Bradford of St. Mary's. And it's Lauren Hackett's first trip to the free throw line tonight. No, they were a loaded team last year. And she was only a sophomore, but it's hard to imagine that she didn't get a ton of playing time last year.
Yeah, there were a lot of Division I seniors that were in front of her.
5 that are playing Division I basketball this year that graduated from last year's team. Sacramone lost a handle on it.
And that a team that won the Catholic State Championship before losing in a heartbreaker to Long Island Lutheran in the State Federation semifinals.
13 seconds remaining in the first half. It's Lawhorn straight away for 3, in and out. Bailey's got it. Bailey with under a second heaves. It'll fall short. So St. Anthony's opened up a lead in the first and grew it in the second. A 12-point advantage for the Friars, led by Lauren Hackett's 13 first half points. Friars trying to go back-to-back Catholic League titles, and they're off to a good start at St. Joe's.
On March 11th, starting at 5 p.m., watch the best of New Jersey high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions, live on Channel 14.
At the buzzer, good!
This doubleheader begins at 5 p.m. with the non-public B finals, followed by the non-public A finals at 7 p.m. Watch the best of New Jersey high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Back at St. Joseph's College, St. Anthony's leading St. Mary's in the Nassau-Suffolk Catholic High School Athletic Association Championship game, 35-23. Matt Shortis, Dylan Butler with you as we get ready to start the second half. Lauren Hackett was on fire in that first half with 13 points, including 2 of 2 from three-point land.
Yeah, she's led the way for St. Anthony's, but as expected, a bit of a balanced scoring attack. Tamia Lawhorn with 8. 7 for Kayla Robinson. Maya Moffitt also with 7.
So back we go. St. Mary's in blue with the white numbers and letters as they move right to left to start it off, trying to overcome this deficit. It's Alana Bradford weaving with Sacramone. Sacramone will hand off to Bailey. Not a lot of space for her to operate.
Yeah, nearly a walk.
And Bailey being just absolutely hounded by Robinson. Bradford now kicking out right side, just 6 on the shot clock. They throw it away, intercepted. Ahead it comes for Sydney Taylor. Pardon me, making Kayla Robinson. Robinson will go to the rack, but it's rejected by Bradley. Bailey, pardon me. I don't know why I said Bradley.
She led the way with 9 for St. Mary's in that first half.
Underneath, they try and create some room, looking for White, stolen away. 3-on-1 for St. Mary's. Bailey right to the basket. Might that get the Gales going? Here's Robinson, picks up for White. White sees an opening to the basket, no good. Bailey pulls it down. She'll slow it down a moment. She picks up the dribble. Rackets this. There's Racketsis driving left side, no good. She gets her own rebound, but it was out of bounds off of St. Mary's.
And there you see Hackett again working her way up the court.
Right side, Lawhorn posting up. Double comes over to her, back out for Hackett. Watch out, she might pull from there. Hackett instead puts it on the floor. Kicks it for Lawhorn, open three, no good. White getting in the rebound. White, no good. Her own rebound, she'll step it back out.
Love to see that.
Reset, looking for Moffitt underneath. St. Anthony's unable to buy a bucket on this possession. Foul on St. Anthony's, the other end.
You love to see your big have the presence of mind to just pull it back out when it's not there instead of forcing it inside.
Defender falls down. That frees up Sacramone to knock down the tray. Lead down to 7 for St. Anthony's. White, foot on the line, 2, chases her own shot. Sacramone's got the board. Smallest player on the floor coming away with it.
Yeah, she's been an energizer bunny for the Gales.
There's Bailey. White stripped it away. Bailey able to get it to Martin. Now Martin scoops it up. That won't fall. Hackett battling with Sacramone. Now she's bothered all over the place. Hackett trying to push up the floor. Past Bradford. Hackett eyes to the basket. Lot of contact. Play continues.
They're letting them play.
Hackett's this. Now to Bailey on the baseline. Bailey up and under. 7 straight for St. Mary's. Timeout. Hugh Flaherty in St. Anthony's. Well, you see, don't let it happen on the back of the St. Mary's shirts. I asked Kevin White what it was. He said, it. No, we don't. It's hard to explain that to 16 and 17-year-old girls, but it. I said, okay.
Hey, it could be a lot of things.
Yeah. Tonight, that would be a loss, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing everything in their power to not let it happen.
Yeah.
A 7-0 run to start the third.
And whatever he said in the locker room, it has worked. Because as you said, they've scored the first 7 points of the second half. And that deficit that was 116 in the second quarter now sliced down to 5.
Didn't Forrest Gump come up with that? Don't let it happen?
Oh, I think so.
Over the timeline, Kayla Robinson.
Or maybe Kevin White told Forrest Gump about it.
Very possible. To the right corner it goes for Robinson again. Robinson's pass deflected, able to regain control, then loses it to Bailey. Bailey and Robinson, foot race to the basket. Bailey up and under. Kadeja Bailey with 13, and it's just a 3-point game now. White off the right elbow, no. St. Anthony's back with it, that won't go. Bobbled underneath, Martin on the floor with it. Martin trying to get it free. She's tied up with Lawhorn. And it looked like she got the, did she get the timeout off? Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Jim Borek was right there. So we'll get a timeout. Talked about the seniors that St. Anthony's lost and the amount of talent that was on that team last year. So let's go through them. Taylor Good, now playing at Central Connecticut. Sarah Edmond, now playing at Howard. Italia Vogt, now playing at Towson. Allison Murphy at Sacred Heart. And Jayla Jones-Pack at Seton Hall.
And Jayla Jones-Pack, that was your size inside as well. And that's a lot of scoring. That's a lot of minutes. Maya Moffitt really the one returning player who saw an ample amount of time a year ago.
And that goes along with a couple players that graduated the year before, and Rebecca Musgrove, who was playing at Brown, Sharice Wilson at Rhode Island. She was A-10 all-second team last year. And Chastity Taylor, who played at Delaware.
Yeah.
Whose sister just won a Suffolk title in CI.
That's right.
Chanel Taylor helping lead the Musketeers. They'll play in the LIC on Saturday against Baldwin. Left side three, Sacramone short.
Baldwin surviving a scare, beating Massapequa in the Nassau AA final.
Step back, there's a foot on the line. White trying to battle for it, out of bounds. Last touch by Jasmine White of St. Anthony's. You feel like one of these years, Massapequa is going to break through.
Listen, it's happening soon. Everybody comes back for them.
Rackets this short offensive board for Bradford, and she's fouled prior to the shot.
And their freshman forward, Gabby, her last name escapes me right now, but she is only a freshman. She's already one of the top players rated in the country for her age. So
5-second violation on St. Mary's.
You put her in the middle, and then you build around her. They are good. They're returning a lot of talent. You know, they were very upset after that loss to Baldwin, but they pretty quickly were able to put things in perspective and say, who's held Baldwin within our league to this amount of points?
Another rebound. I mean, when you consider the towns around Long Island as they move inside for White. White, no good. Here's Bailey. Hold that thought. Bailey to the basket. Falls in and fouled. An eternity on the rim, but finally it drops for Kadeja Bailey.
That had to take 4 bounces at least on the same portion of the rim. And now St. Mary's an opportunity to tie this game up.
They've scored 11 straight to begin the quarter.
And again, full court pressure.
Well, who would have thought St. Anthony's, who couldn't miss in that second quarter, has not scored a point in the third. Hackett trying to break through, she's fouled.
Yeah, you gotta be careful bouncing the ball like that. I know there's some frustration, but you can ill afford to get a technical foul on top of that.
Finish out that thought from a moment ago. You can tell the towns and districts that have good youth sports on the girls' side, because they are towns that, or school districts that continually have high achieving athletics on the girls' side across the board. So you'd put Massapequa in that category, obviously. In Nassau County, you put Massapequa, Garden City, Wantagh, North Shore. And it seems that whatever the sport, those teams are always in contention on the girls' side. And Hackett missing on both.
Yeah, that's been the only part of her game tonight that you'd say has been a struggle for Hackett, is her free throws.
Lead pass ahead, a little greedy. They were looking for Martin. Went over her head.
And again, the press break. And that's who you want the ball in your hands when there's pressure.
Hackett drawing a double. Sees Moffitt. Moffitt to the right side. Corner for Robinson. Kayla Robinson, an opening. Robinson gets bodied up. And a St. Mary's rebound. But a scrum to the floor. Bailey's got it. Bailey just in front of us on the near sideline. Bailey now into the paint, flicks it up. Tough shot, won't go. Hackett moving it ahead for Taylor Lawhorn. Lawhorn across the paint, bounce shot won't go. Lawhorn there for the loose ball. That falls off the front of the iron, and then a loose ball foul against St. Anthony's.
I'll tell you, there is a lid on that basket right now for St. Anthony's. And again, this comes right out of the time. Oh, there it is. I'm not sure if you can see the lid there, but they have yet to score in this quarter. And
so often you hear the team on a run not wanting that half to come to an end, or not wanting that quarter break. This is taking that example to the extreme. Bailey tries to hop step through the defense, does, passes up the shot, up top looking for Sacramone. And I thought it might have been deflected, but it was not.
You know, I look at Kadeja Bailey, and I don't know why, it just came to my mind on who she reminded me of, and I'm going back. This is an old school reference for you. She reminds me a little bit of the late, great Malik Sealy.
Okay.
That long, kind of smooth, lanky player who can get to the basket, who just kind of glides up and down the court.
Travel. Former St. John's.
Yeah. Went on, played for the Timberwolves. Back when KG was just a pup.
So if you're writing your Draft Express profile, that's your NBA comparable.
Yeah, that's right.
Balance on the left, blocks for Martin. Martin, tough move inside. Both teams struggling from the floor at the moment. Hackett behind the back dribble. She recovers. Hackett going on the speed. Left side. First touch of the game for Tony Kennard. Hackett back up top. Lawhorn, Taylor Lawhorn again. They were struggling so mightily from the field.
Fenelon and Hackett fell down baseline together.
Racketsis, that won't go. Here's Hackett. Hackett across the lane, deflected by Bailey. Scoop it, won't go again. Bailey under a minute to play in the third. Eyes behind her. Bailey splits the defense. Lefty shot off the mark. Lead pass ahead to a wide open Hackett. Hackett trying to go around the defender. Blocked by Martin. Well, it's not going to get much easier than that for St. Anthony's. Push shot won't go, but Naja Fenelon will go to the line.
All of a sudden, the track meet ensued. Hands on knees everywhere. Substitutions galore coming in. Somebody passed the water around.
So Naja Fenelon hits the free throw, and St. Mary's has come all the way back to take a lead.
Yeah, they had the lead early. In fact, they scored the first 5 points of this game.
Kalina Ricketts will come in. Thankfully, both her and Ricketts not on the floor at the same time.
For you, that is.
For me, yes. Seven-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Out of the hands of Smith, but she recovers. Smith on the baseline in trouble. Stolen by Sacramone.
And now St. Mary's could potentially hold for the last, and a smart timeout by the wily veteran. Sacramone was a little bit out of control, and a smile on Kevin White's face. I think he kind of realizes maybe Sacramone got away with a little bit of a carry.
Well, White's been in the game for a long time, only his second year at St. Mary's. Head coach of the Mary Lewis Academy for a long time, and he was happy to see Mary Lewis winning a title earlier in the week.
Yeah, first Brooklyn Queens title ever, beating Christ the King, of course, the perennial powerhouse. Now these two teams are AA in the Catholic League, as is, of course, the Mary Lewis Academy, as is Christ the King, as is St. Francis Prep. So there's going to be a lot of familiar faces in that field. The final is next, or is this Sunday, coming up at Fordham University at the hallowed Rose Hill Gymnasium.
"12 seconds. Bailey throwing a head fake. She's got Smith defensively on her. Bailey trying to temp it off. Sacramone will try a three. No good. Bailey back up with it just before the horn. It's short.
Yeah, a little pick and pop with Sacramone. She misses it. A little gimme inside, also missed by Bailey, but St. Mary's. All Gales, third quarter. They lead it by one, entering the final 4 minutes of the Nassau Suffolk Catholic AA championship game.
Who will rise higher? Dunk harder. And go farther. The playoffs are here. Tune to News 12 Varsity all postseason long.
Start of the fourth quarter, 36-35. St. Mary's leading St. Anthony's, outscoring St. Anthony's 13-0 in that third quarter. Finally, that run comes to an end. Asia Smith turns the page on the third, ushers in the fourth with a basket.
And her first of the game puts the Friars back in front.
Bailey off a screen from Rakitsis. Right side for Bradford, that'll be a three, no good. Offensive board blocked by Lawhorn, put back up and in by Sacramento. Boy, she's had some timely baskets tonight. And then St. Anthony's throws it away.
Was a scoreboard issue, not with our scoreboard, mind you. We're good. Should be 38-37. And there it is, it's up on the board now. Everybody's happy?
Very much so. Coach Creighton has done a good job manning the scoreboard tonight, though. We'll have a whistle down low, and that'll send Deja Martin to the free throw line. Martin has been there 4 times tonight, making just 1. And missing on the free throw.
And now White comes back in the game, replacing Lawhorn.
Right side, here's Smith. White to the left side for Robinson. A reversible. Robinson's got it again. 7 on the shot clock. Robinson uncorks a 3, no good. .90 seconds into the fourth. St. Mary's a 1-point advantage at 38-37. Khadijah Bailey. Bailey falling as she lets go of the shot, no good. Scrum. St. Anthony is coming away. Asia Smith around the defender. Asia Smith to the basket, no good. The defender was waiting for an Alana Bradford. Long pass intercepted by Moffitt. Moffitt to the basket, she's fouled. And Alana Bradford throwing her body around, trying to take a charge twice.
Yeah, again, some frantic play both sides. And now Moffitt will go to the line for 2.
Moffitt 7 points, all of them coming in the first half. And it's hard to describe what St. Anthony's went through in that third quarter. And they're back on top, 39-38. Rakitsis. Pulls on the pass, leaves it ahead for Bradford. Robinson up in her grill right now. There's Fenelon being hounded by Hackett. Trying to find Bailey inside. Bailey, one dribble, creates enough separation and puts it in. Back and forth we go. 1 point game, 40-39. Hackett crosses over. Robinson putting it on the floor, no good. Rebound St. Mary's, Bailey lost it to the floor. Fenelon on top of it. And a whistle.
Yeah, and they actually called a foul. Well, I thought a jump was coming. But it ends up being
trying to appeal to Aloysius Johnson on that call.
Now, if it was a jump, the arrow is for St. Anthony's.
Don't you get the feeling that even this early in the quarter that a 2-possession lead is humongous? The way these two teams have been battling defensively. Out of bounds as Fenelon had stepped on the sideline.
And you can see St. Anthony's starting to ratchet up the defense, making things very uncomfortable for the Gales.
Right side for Kayla Robinson. Now Hackett up top. Hackett stripped by Fenelon. Ripped away. Ahead for Bailey. Bailey fouled by Asia Smith. Boy, the timing and strength for Naja Fenelon to absolutely yank that ball out of the hands of Hackett as she went to the basket.
Yeah, not the first time either.
So the gym quiets down as Bailey heads to the free throw line. Bailey, who has carried this team throughout this year. Tamia Lawhorn back in for Aisha Smith.
Yeah, you could say the same tonight, right? She's got just about half of her team's points.
18 of the 40. I don't know if something was on the floor.
Yeah. White was trying to usher it off the court.
Bailey missing both. White controls the board. There's Lawhorn. Lawhorn spinning underneath. Two of St. Mary's defenders there. An offensive board. Back out it comes for Robinson. Robinson gets it to fall.
Yeah, a little bit of leaner for Robinson, and now the pressure coming from St. Anthony's.
41-40, St. Anthony's leading St. Mary's. Rakitis across the timeline in the former Bradford now. Defense chant coming from the St. Anthony's fans behind us. Stolen by Smith. Robinson, she'll pull up from the elbow, no good. Offensive board to Moffitt, who's fouled.
And she pulled up out of the threat of a block by Kadeja Bailey. Bailey just gave her a look, and then it resulted in the pull-up, but Moffitt fouled. She'll go back to the free throw line.
Deja Martin, the third personal foul. And Moffitt has not missed from the line tonight. 4 of 4 for 10 points for the senior and second-year starter.
Timeout, St. Anthony's.
And they have extended the lead back to 3, the largest since St. Mary's went on that run.
Of course, basketball season winding down. We still got some big games, though, on tap on the girls' side. The Long Island Championships, Class A. Elmont, after a thrilling win over North Shore, they will take on Mount Sinai. And we mentioned before the AA final. Central Islip, which knocked off the two-time defending champions in Comac. They will take on Baldwin. Those games at SUNY Old Westbury Saturday afternoon. We will be there. We'll have that all for you live on News12Varsity.com.
Not to mention tomorrow in the Catholic League in New York City, the semifinals from St. John's University. Hayes against Laughlin, Stepanak, Malloy. Doubleheader coming up at 6 p.m. on News 12 Varsity. Hackett the steal, St. Mary's the turnover out of the timeout. It was a Hugh Flaherty timeout early in the first quarter, which spurned the big St. Anthony's run. That put them on top 19-12 after 1 quarter of play. Jasmine White turns, faces the basket. The shot doesn't fall for her. Sacramone chasing it in the corner. She's got it, trying to get it away. Deflected right into the waiting arms of Martin. As Kadesha Bailey hesitates, throws up a wild shot. Rebounded by St. Mary's. Put back up. Bradford's shot is good. 1 point game, under 4 to play. A whistle, travel on Jasmine White. Kadesha Bailey returning. Bailey, White picks off the pass after she traveled, able to come up with the turnover.
And that was forced inside.
Robinson is screened from White. Robinson around the D, flips it up and in. Kayla Robinson extends the lead back to 3. 11 points today for the junior Robinson.
And again, you hear that defense chant.
There's Sacramone to tie, no good. Loose ball foul on Hackett. I take it back, that's on Naja Fanolan.
You get the sense this possession is so huge
for both teams. White. Maya Moffitt's got it, back to White. St. Anthony's going to slow down a little bit, not too much. Robinson trying to feed it inside to White, deflected. St. Anthony's gets it back to Robinson, left corner for Hackett. She's got a range to her left to get it. Hackett driving, penetrated, kicking back outside to White, who's fouled. Fanolan picking up 2 personal fouls in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it might have been a jump, which still would have stayed with St. Anthony's.
Jasmine White, who's been held scoreless today, missing on her first free throw. Committed to LaSalle. Missing on both. Bailey has it for St. Mary's. Again, St. Anthony's up by 3, trying to go back-to-back in the Catholic League. There's Bailey driving to the basket. Fouled on the way there.
Yeah, her scoop attempt no good, but she'll go back to the line where she actually missed her last 2 attempts 3 minutes ago.
So Bailey 18 points today. In a late game situation, finding herself struggling from the free throw line. A junior already with 1,500 career points on the varsity level. Makes one of two. .90 seconds to play in the ball game. St. Anthony's on top by 2, over and back by Hackett.
An uncharacteristic mistake by Hackett. Zach Ramon coming back in the game. And St. Anthony's will call a timeout.
Hugh Flaherty will take it. These two coaches, they've known each other for a long time. Flaherty, former assistant with Tom Flynn at St. Mary's. They've coached AAU together. So they've been in the system and have come across each other, like we said, for a long time. And they know each other so well. It's really down to execution. I don't think either guy's going to out-coach one or the other at this point.
No.
And more becomes the coaching from the perspective of managing your players and their mindsets in such a big game and big point in the game.
Let's see what he had drawn up on that board. Bailey inbounding in front of us. Maya Moffitt trying to deny her.
Deja Martin. Now Sacramone. St. Anthony's.
And Moffitt
flying to the
denying
ball.
Bailey the ball.
Sacramone a little trouble with it. Recovers. Almost freed up Bailey.
Now she gets it.
With only 10 on the shot clock, though. Bailey going to work. Bailey in the middle, fouled. It is against Moffitt. That is her fourth.
She goes back to the line for two more. 1:01 left. The Gales down 2.
Trying to tie. Even 20 on the day for Bailey. She had missed 3 straight before hitting her last 2 free throws. Second one is good as well. Tied at 45, under a minute to go in the Catholic League Championship game. Robinson fouled from behind by Bailey.
Yeah, she
Big
reached,
foul because St. Anthony's is shooting.
yeah, she reached around trying to get the steal. And Robinson will go to the line.
First free throw good for Robinson. Mary's has 1 timeout remaining. So both players coming up big with big free throws in the stages. Fenelon had hit the ground, away from the ball, nothing called. Bradford. 5 points today for the sophomore Alana Bradford. Into the hands of Bailey. Her and Sacramone trying to pick and roll. Pick and pop for Sacramone, 3, blocked. Hackett's got it for St. Anthony's. Hackett, lead pass ahead for Robinson. Robinson tries to fake Sacramone, missed the shot. Bailey's got it. 20 seconds to go. 2-point game. Bailey, kick underneath. Fenelon misses the chippy. Rebounded by St. Anthony's.
They should
Hackett
hold.
with 10 seconds. Hackett waiting. St. Mary's wasting so many precious seconds. And finally they foul.
And that's not who you want to foul. I mean, you got to foul regardless, but.
It's Kayla Robinson at the line.
Actually, it's Moffitt.
Moffitt at the line. Who's 5 of 5 from the stripe today.
And the next one will likely seal it.
St. Anthony's backing Hackett way off the line. Missed on the free throw. Rebounded by St. Anthony's. No good. Here's Fenelon ahead. Fenelon will not get the shot off. And St. Anthony's goes back-to-back in the Catholic League.
Wow. Wild final few seconds. Another tight win by St. Anthony's over St. Mary's, and the Friars win the Catholic AA title yet again.
Maya Moffitt hit 1 of 2 at the end, but it was enough. And St. Anthony's 48-45 winners today over St. Mary's.
On March 12th, starting at 11 a.m., watch the best of Long Island high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions. Live on Channel 14. This doubleheader begins at 11 a.m. with the Class A Finals, followed by the Class AA Finals at 1:30 p.m. Watch the best of Long Island high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Maya Moffitt 12 points in the victory as St. Anthony's goes back-to-back 48-45 today with a win over St. Mary's. And Maya had the big free throw at the end of the game to seal it. As you step to the line, what are you thinking? What are you trying to do to kind of calm yourself down there?
I just kind of blocked out the crowd, even though they're like yelling and screaming. You just have to block everybody out and just take your time, you know, bend your knees. And I just knew that if I made two free throws, they would never have a chance to win, but, you know.
Third quarter, you guys go scoreless. Have you ever been through a stretch like that? And what did you guys do? What did coach say in that quarter break to kind of snap you out of that funk?
We've never done that. I don't know what was up with us, but I just told the team that we have to play harder, play smarter, play as a team, stop going one-on-one because we never made a shot going one-on-one. And I think they just listened to what I said and we turned it up in the fourth quarter.
For you personally, I'd imagine this has to mean a lot. One, being the lone starter returning from last year's team, and then the coaching changes that you had at the beginning of this season. So to cap this off with some of those two things as you keep in mind, what does this mean for you?
It means a lot, like you said. We went through a tough season. We had 2 coaches, and at a period of time we had no coach. We had to stick together as a team, and we had to prove everybody wrong because no one believed in us but us, and we had to come out with the championship.
And with coach coming in at that point in the season, what was the adjustment? How quickly were you guys able to kind of adapt to each other?
Oh, we adapted very quickly. He's a great coach, and we just stayed together as a team from day one and just stayed positive.
Thanks, congratulations.
Thank you.
48-45, your final score as St. Anthony's knocks off St. Mary's for the second consecutive year in the Nassau-Suffolk Catholic High School Athletic Association. And Maya Moffitt, 12 points in the winning effort today. So that'll do it for everybody involved in our broadcast. For Dylan Butler and Tom Schnars, I'm Matt Shorter saying so long. We'll catch you next time on News 12 Varsity.